and she's also worked as a researcher in Belgium. She currently teaches sociology of crime and sociology of religion at the University of Elbasan in Albania. Thank you.
Good afternoon, professors and colleagues. First of all, I'd like to thank all the organizers for this opportunity and the spirit of the Turkish people, this welcoming and the way how they make us feel here in Istanbul. From Egypt to moving now to Albania, to see my paper, actually the focus will be the interreligious tolerance between Muslims and Christians and other religions there. So we'll see a different view, how Christians marry Muslims or how Muslims marry Christians, and how is this cohabitance or co-living together. Albania is the only country with a majority Muslim population. In this age of religious prejudice and in a view of a terrible policy of ethnic cleansing in its neighboring countries, Albania's religious climate has remained remarkably tolerant. The intermingling of religions is epitomized by the Albanian national hero, Gjergj Kastroti Skanderbeg, who was born as an Orthodox, he lived as a Muslim and died as a Catholic. Albania was the area where the two great empires met and divided, where the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire met in Middle Ages. The authority of the two churches, the Orthodox from one side and the Catholic from the other side, as I said, they met and divided. Also, Islam in Albania has coexisted with Christianity for many, many years, let's say ages. At the intersection of East and West, since Albania geographically lies between these two worlds, between the West and the East, it has served as a bridge of crossing influences by acquiring from them and also by preserving its core identity. I will say a few words about the religious past of the Albanians and how is it today. After the Second World War, Albania became part of the Stalinist bloc, thus being one of the most rigid regimes of communism in the Eastern Europe. The religious practices were officially banned, and thus the country was declared itself as the only atheist country in the world. After the fall of communism in 1991, all the religious activities started to revive or to resume. Among people who follow any of the four major religions in Albania, there is a mixture. But Islam, or the Islamist religions, is the first biggest group, which is then divided in Sunni Islam and then Bektashi, and after this, the Orthodox, the Catholics, and other religious groups in the Protestant churches, some atheists, and so on and so forth. I will talk a few words below. As far as the past, the Illyrian cults, Illyrians were the ancestors of the Albanian, had two cults, the cult of the sun and the cult of the snake, which are still witnessed and still, let's say, practiced in some rural regions throughout the country. An organic system of assigning human personifications to natural phenomena was culturally developed, and remnants of this appear even in nowadays Albania. Christianity spread to urban centers in the region of Albania during the later period of the Roman Empire, or Roman invasion, and reached the region relatively early. There are evidences that even the Apostle of Paul preached in one of his three journeys. He preached in Albania, in two of his main cities. That's why in the Bible he says, "I have been preaching the gospel from Jerusalem into Illyricum," which by that time was the ancient Albania. During the 1st and the 2nd century AD, Christianity became the established religion in Byzantium, thus supplanting, or thus, let's say, even the majority part of the Albania was Christian, basically Catholic, a little bit later, but the majority of the urban and rural areas were mainly Christians. The Albanians first appear in the historical record of Byzantine sources in the late 11th century. One of the major legacies of the early 5 centuries of Ottoman rule was that the majority of Albanians, according to Ottoman data, had converted into Islam. Therefore, the nation emerged as a Muslim-majority country after Albania's independence in 1912. In the north, the spread of Islam was a bit harder because of the influence of the Catholic Church. And also in the south, it was a little bit harder because of the influence of the Orthodox Church. So you see the border, we border Greece, and of course the influence of the Orthodox Church from Greek has had its influence. The Muslims of Albania during the Ottoman invasion were divided into two main communities: those associated with Sunni Islam and those associated with Bektashi Shiism. a mystic Turkish order that came into Albania through the Albanian Janissaries that served in the Ottoman army and who practiced Albanian pagan rites under a nominal Islamic order. During the 20th century, after its independence in 1912, the democratic, monarchic, and later the totalitarian regimes followed a systematic catharsis of the religion, of the nation, and the national culture. Albania never had an official state religion, either as a republic or as a kingdom, after its restoration in 1912. Albania has always been considered a unique example of coexistence in terms of religion and culture. Past reports show that independently from historical political settings, Albania showed a friendly behavior towards each other's religious tendency. Nowadays, citizens of Muslim background make up the largest traditional religious group. Out of 3 million, this is the whole country population, 1.5 million, or 50% of it are Muslims. So these are divided in two groups, those associated with the moderate form of Sunni Islam and those associated with Bektashi order. Then the Orthodox Church of Albania and the Roman Catholic Church are the other two large denominations. An estimated 20 to 23% of the population are Orthodox, and then less than 20 are Catholic. Also, the rest of it are members of other Protestant churches, such as Jehovah's Witness, the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter Days, and so on and so forth. The State Committee on Cults reported a total of 245 religious groups, organizations, and foundations, in addition to 4 traditional groups. So this big number in a population of 3 million, shows how tolerant and how multi-religious the society is. This number includes 34 different Islamic organizations and 189 Protestant organizations. The Constitution provides for freedom and religion, and the government generally respects the right to practice all kinds of belief. The government at all levels seeks to protect the right in full and does not tolerate any abuse, either by government or other private actors. The government is secular. According to the Constitution, there is no official religion and all religions are equal. However, the predominant religious communities such as Muslim, Bektashi, Orthodox, and Catholic, they enjoy a higher, let's say, importance because they have their official recognition by having their holidays days. The religious tolerance or the religious intolerance in Albania is seen by Albanians and other foreign scholars as a value in a very special way. So why is that? What's the importance, or why there is this religious tolerance? The religious tolerance, or better to say the interreligious tolerance, the cooperation and the interreligious harmony of the Albanians is one of the highlights of the cultural values in Albania. The well-known Albanian erudite, writer and essayist Hypotheses has written, "I believe that everywhere they go, Albanians are tolerant towards all other religions, and perhaps this is the only place in Europe where they never had religious wars." Also, the writings of other scholars are full of categorizations and definitions on how Albanians treat other people who deserve or who are part of other religious groups. In 1929, when Hugo Bernatzik visited many rural and urban places in Albania, he wrote, "The religious wars are unknown for this part of Europe. Catholics, Orthodox, and Muslims live in peace and harmony in this small country, and in some villages they live together, they also marry each other. The harmonic and religious cohabitation of the Albanians has functioned in all levels of social organizations, within the urban and rural communities, within the tribes, and also within the families. That's why nowadays you can go in hundreds of families and see that there are part of the family is Muslim and part of the family is Christians." Almost 2 centuries ago, when the psychosis of the interreligious fanatics were problematic in Europe and beyond, the English scholar William Martin Lee claimed that the Albanian Muslims marry Christian wives, the men go to mosque and the women or the girl go to church, and the Muslim man eats at the same table where the rest of his family is eating pork, which is forbidden for him. So why there is this religious tolerance? Why are Albanians tolerant towards other religions? There are some hypotheses, or let's say some ideas, that sort of try to explain this tolerance. First of all, since the, let's say, the 17th century, many scholars, as I say, especially foreign scholars, have tried to understand what is in the core of this religious tolerance. So first, one of the first hypotheses is that it's connected with its past, let's say, pagan past of the Albanians, which has had an influence in the monotheist religions of them. Edith Duran, which I'm sure most of you know, she was an anthropologist who visited Albania in 1909, 1911, especially some rural parts of the northern Albania. She wrote, there is a part of the Albanians that went from paganism to Islam, but this is quite an untested hypothesis that doesn't shed too much light on this issue. Second, as I said, the pagan past of the Albanians. Second reason is that they believe that such religions, such as Catholic and Orthodox, is what the religions were before the Ottoman Empire, because Albania was under Turkish Empire for 5 centuries. And there are evidences that most of the population were converted into Islam, not so much because of their free will, but because they had some privileges in the military, administrative, or paying taxes such as jizya or other taxes. So that means that there is a fake Christianity or a fake Islami, if we call it Islamization. So that's why there is not a deep feeling towards religion when it comes to their real conversion or real, let's say, spiritual lives. Another group of foreign scholars interpret this interreligious tolerance as a result of the shallow feelings of the Albanians toward their religion. For example, one of the travelers and also the trade member of the Turkish Empire, Evliya Çelebi, in 17th century, he visited many rural places in Albania and he wrote, Albanians don't care about religion. 2 centuries later, Edith Duran was writing, there are nations that are very sensitive towards religion, while Albanians as a nation don't want to know anything about it. They never took Christianity seriously, but even with Islam, it seems like they have done the same. While Matthew Clare has written, Albanians are characterized by the shallowness of religion, by weak connections with the religion, by shallow knowledge of the religion dogmas and practices. They are just too cold with religion. And last of all, one of the reasons is that from the 16th or 17th century up to the 20th century, especially in some rural areas and in the middle part of Albania, is known of this phenomena called as a fake Christianity or crypto-Christianity. That means that half of the family, during the Turkish Empire, as I said, most families were converted into Islam, but what happened was that during the day they were acting as Muslim, and during the night they were acting as Christian. I mean, they would go to Passover, they would celebrate Passover, they would celebrate other feasts, they would eat pork, so they were trying to do both of the practices and holidays of the both religions. So to conclude with that, the last hypothesis and the last, let's say, idea why Albanians are so tolerant toward other religions is given by a German scholar, Dr. Herbert Lewis, who studied Albanian society and wrote, in Albania, the notion of crowds does not exist. Released from the instinct of the crowds, the Albanians have never stigmatized the minor groups, the minorities, because of their racial, because of their ethnic, because of their sexual, or because of other, let's say, religious background. Historically, there has been a tolerance between different social and ethnic groups between Albanians. In the times of modernity and change, the religious tolerance has stayed as it is. So has not changed. The political transition of the last 2 decades, since the fall of communism, had no influence in the interreligious tolerance. Together with the code of honor, the code of hospitality, the religious tolerance remains as a precious stone in the crown of a traditional society. This value is immensely and intensively molded in the historical memory and in the collective memory of the Albanians. That's why all the fast and turbulent transformations have not, of modernity and also post-modernity, have not, let's say, cleansed it away or tried to mold it away. Thank you very much for your attention.